To record this video and send it out to you because I know several people weren't able to make the meeting. So I'm going to actually record two videos. This one is just on the evidence list. I'm going to record a second one that is about the outlines, but I'm going to send that out to all of the groups. So that'll be probably tomorrow. So just to kind of briefly go over what we did today, if you want to use this kind of as a reference. So today, one of the things we talked about having done by next meeting, which is June 3rd, is an evidence list. And so what that entails is taking our core components, looking at what they say, and then listing out the evidence we feel that supports that. So as an example, for those of you who weren't there today, also we split up the work into these different core components. So these are the ones you're going to hang on to for the evidence list and for the outline. This is also in the email and in the meeting notes, so you don't have to scramble to write it down right now. So let's just take this 1A section 1 as an example. So Jim has to happen to be on this one. So what I'm going to do, so if I were Jim, 1A section 1, I am going to go to our outlines that we've done. And so that is just right inside of the HLC drive in the one folder. And so because we're already going to start on the second draft outlines, I've actually archived the old outlines. But you're going to want to use these as you're going through the evidence list. So I'll click on 1A. And it'll freeze. Hopefully not. So 1A section 1, so the sections refer to the Roman numerals beside each of these. So as you scroll through the outlines, you'll notice there's section 1, 2, 3, 4, however many is in there. So I am trying to list evidence for this one. So this one talks about the mission is broadly understood and that it guides our operations. So if I was the person on this core component, I would start thinking about, well, what pieces of evidence can we point to that will support this statement, if that's the argument that we're making. And so we've actually done a lot of this work when we've done the critical thinking sessions. And so these outlines are very brainstormy. So what I would do is read through everything that we've done here, because I get the feeling that a lot of this you can pull out from here. You may still have to come up with some new stuff. It may not all be here. So in reading through this, here are some just examples, just related specifically to this one. So I'm going to go to the evidence list, which is also in your folder. And so let's just take a look at this line right here. So core component 1A, section 1. So I've listed the strategic plan as evidence that the mission supports, it guides our operations, because I feel like this is an example how strategic decisions are made in support of the mission, because the mission cascades down to the strategic plan, which cascades down to budgeting, which cascades to planning. So they all should be connected. In the status, so I personally know that the new plan is under development. So for the status, I know that it's under development. Some of these other ones you may know, like, it exists, we just need to get it from another person. Some of them may not exist, which is sort of our cue to maybe we need to create a document. Sufficient, insufficient, let's leave that alone for right now. We'll revisit that as we start collecting the evidence. And here in the notes, just for the strategic plan one, I've just personally said that we need to include the whole plan, but that we really need to pull out specific examples that we can point to and say, see, we've made this decision, based on our plan, and that supports the mission in this way. So, and that's something we'll actually include in the text of the self-study. So some of these, that was actually a really clear example of a tangible piece of evidence that we can point to. Some of these other ones may not be so clear. For example, I've put down here in the same section, classwork, because one of the things we talked about as a group is that in some of the classwork that in the projects that teachers are doing and students are doing, that we are actually preparing them for creative careers, that we're giving them tangible skills that they can use, and that is part of our mission statement. And it doesn't have to be mission statement, it can be So remember, when we talk about mission, it means mission documents as a whole. Mission documents are the vision, the values, the mission statement, the strategic plan. All of those documents you can find in your folder. Some of these other ones, just as another example, just in 1A1, I put down like our admissions script, because when I know that when we were talking about this, we talked about how new students, when they come in, they go through a whole process with admissions, and one of those things, for at least online students, is that they are exposed to our mission and brand during the admission interview, and there's a whole part of the script that's dedicated to that. So I know that that exists, I just need to get it from Mark. And we're not gathering evidence right at this moment, so don't worry about actually physically getting it. But also, I think in our conversations that this actually only exists for online, and that we should probably check with Dave Hoblick to see if this is on ground as well. And maybe this is a recommendation that comes out of our group. You know, maybe it would be beneficial to have both online and on ground do this. I don't know. We'd have to talk to admissions about that. Anyway, so that is sort of a general rundown of how the evidence list works. So check and see which core components and sections you have. Each one of you should have 2, except for Katie, you only have 1. You're a lucky duck. And so just come in here, find your section and add lines as you need, and then go through the outlines, read them. You know, what's really important here is to make sure that we're actually answering the right question. So we want evidence that supports you know, your core component. So just, you know, keep that in mind as you're listing things. If you're not answering the right question, what's the point? So I think that's it. Let me know if you have questions. For those of you who weren't able to make the meeting today, please let me know. Put something on my calendar. We can get together and talk about this later, and I will send out another video tomorrow on the outline stuff, which we also talked about today. I think that's it, guys. All right, have a good night. Thanks so much. Bye.